Hey guys, welcome back to Loop Hub. Today we'll talk about the grossest and most disgusting moments on Dr. Pimple Popper. Let's head into it. Number 1. Dennis. Dennis, who is 67 years old and a passionate motorcyclist, has to put his passion for riding on hold due to a cyst on the back of his head that prevents him from removing his helmet. The cyst has grown so big that it makes lying down to sleep uncomfortable, and his wife Donna is afraid she will lose him if he doesn't have it checked out. I can't imagine life without you. After 32 years together, he's been a part of my life for more than half of it. He is my life. She expresses herself through tears. Dennis's distrust of doctors has prevented him from seeing one on a regular basis, but he decides to entrust the removal of his cysts to Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee's eyes widen when she sees him in person, admitting that this is the biggest nodule she's ever seen, and she refers to it as a water balloon cyst due to the liquid inflating it. Dr. Lee needs to be careful when cutting because the growth is on his skin, so she stitches Dennis up after sopping up blood and tying off some blood vessels. She expects to see him in 2 days to remove the other 3 lumps. You'll be speechless when you see the before and after photos of his head. Dennis can now ride his motorcycle with Donna and be healthy since he's wearing his helmet. Number 2. Juan first noticed freckles on his face when he was 10 years old, which eventually developed into tumors when he grew older. He had tuberous sclerosis since he was an infant, a genetic disorder that causes benign tumors to develop on the body, but the bumps around his nose and the cyst on his side of his head prevented him from socializing or spending much time outdoors. It's really difficult for me to cope with anything. I just want to live a normal life like the rest of the world. He expresses his dissatisfaction with the situation, obviously emotional. Juan's father and sister are crossing their fingers that this trip to Dr. Lee will improve Juan's life and prevent him from staying in and playing video games. He's been to dermatologists before, but the topical medications they gave him didn't work, so he's hoping Dr. Lee will improve. Dr. Lee determines that Juan has angiofibromas, a cluster of benign tumors on his nose, after consulting with him, and uses an electrocautery tool to remove them. She also drains and removes the cyst on the side of his brain. Now that I've made this clear, I'm more confident in my ability to achieve my goals. Nothing will keep me from achieving my goals now. It's now or never for me to shine. After surgery, Juan says. Number 3. Natalie. Dr. Lee doesn't have much to cut, suture, or pop in Natalie's case, which makes it stand out. Natalie, a 28-year-old Atlanta native, has raised hyperpigmented bumps all over his arms, legs, and torso. The scratching and bumps continued despite her using bleaching creams and eliminating gluten from her diet. Natalie was diagnosed with prurigo nodularis, a skin disorder that causes rough, raised bumps on the skin, after doing her own studies. However, after examining Natalie's body during the appointment, Dr. Lee concludes that Natalie may be suffering from a psychological urge to itch, which resulted in raised bumps. Natalie is eager to try the medicated bandages and steroid patches Dr. Lee sends her home with, despite the fact that the possibility of developing an obsessive disorder scares her. After 4 weeks, the two practically check in with each other, and Dr. Lee notices a difference. Natalie's skin can recover even faster if she continues to use the techniques Dr. Lee recommended, allowing her to finally feel at ease with her own skin. Number 4. Joe. Joe sees Dr. Sandra Lee have a marble-sized lump between his brows removed, which almost looks like a third eye. About 6 months ago, I found what I thought was a pimple, Joe says, but it just kept growing into the size it is now, and I don't know what to do. It's almost impossible to conceal the development because it's right in the center of Joe's forehead. Dr. Lee isn't sure what kind of cyst is lurking under Joe's knobby third eye, despite the fact that it's grown very large and quickly. Dr. Lee takes Joe into surgery, slicing into the lump and softly pressing at the sides to expose what's inside, eager to see what's going on. Joe's head spews a white stream of cottage cheese-like pus with a little strain. Dr. Lee stitches him up, concealing the scar under a crease in his brow. Joe is now free of cysts and happy. Patrick returns for a second operation before we wrap up, so Dr. Lee can finish what she began. She scrapes the remaining bulbous, rubbery skin from Pat's nose with a wire loop. With his new nose, Pat looks like a completely different person. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.